Hey there guys, what's going on? So, I've tried to film this video in about 1,000 different ways because of all the various information and things in it and things I'm so curious about and really excited about, and I'm all over the board about it. I've been so overexcited that I haven't been able to film it correctly. I just keep like boggling my mind about it. So we're just going to try to get it down to the basics here finally and try not to overwhelm myself in the process of talking about this and how really excited I am about it. Let's start here. The Foo Fighters and Sonic Highways. This is their upcoming studio record. They just began their week-long residency on the David Letterman show. They have been they've been beloved for a long time by Dave, good friends back and forth there. The Fighters of Foo, anybody who's watched Letterman for years will know that is one of his favorite things to say about them, and they've had a great relationship and all that. So they just started that residency this week. They just performed Black Sabbath's War Pigs with Zac Brown of the Zac Brown Band. He and Grohl have formed this recent collaboration. I believe Grohl might have produced something for him, if I'm not mistaken. Not a big Zac Brown Band fan. That's a weird thing to say, to try to say quickly in a sentence. Twangy country music style, not really my bag, but collaborations come in all shapes and sizes, you know? And great cover of this song, really blew me away. Great drumming from Taylor Hawkins, all that. Always been sort of a casual fan of theirs, always really liked Dave Grohl. I don't really get when people don't like Dave Grohl. I don't see it very often, but it's always like, I don't know, how can you not like this guy? He's just so interesting to me. And there is still the Sound City documentary, which he just did not too long ago, about the Sound City recording studio out in California, where he was with the likes of Nirvana and Fleetwood Mac, and he did a whole tie-in with the documentary and the performers and people who performed there, and then they did new songs, and then they made a record out of it in addition to the whole DVD thing, and I was just really impressed with that. I still have to watch that Sound City documentary. In fact, as a music fan, I feel like the silliest person in the world every time I think about it and think, oh my god, I still haven't watched this because this is so up my alley. Why have I not seen this yet? So I had to get that off of my shelf and watch it. But because of that, the whole Sound City deal, Dave got this idea to record in these different recording studios with his band, and they went and did 8 separate songs in 8 separate cities, and it's a whole tie-in to an 8-part mini-series thing that they're doing on HBO, where they go to each city and record this particular song, and Dave interviews people from around that area how it relates to music and what their, the cultural significance of music, and these people in these various places, like Buddy Guy in the South, and to Macklemore out in the West in Seattle, and Pharrell was in the preview, Bonnie Raitt was in the preview, Willie Nelson, Dan Auerbach, luminaries of all kinds, all the way to the president himself in Washington, D.C., which was one of the places they recorded, and that looks amazing. 8 parts, 8 hours of this just stuff in studios, and all this music stuff just blowing at the, just the hinges are like giving way and just want to explode with all of just the interesting music stuff going on with this. And basically he does these interviews and takes kind of the words from them and does something with them based on that, and made songs out of each of them, which kind of almost seems like it would be a concept that really wouldn't work, but I guess in the right mind or the right sort of concept, again, the right sort of framework, it could really work as a style of writing. So that's kind of how they approached it, and I think that's really interesting. So you have this whole 8-part mini-series documentary thing chronicling studios and musicians and artists and cultural significance of music and just everything that just makes me this excited, gibbering, jabbering mess that comes to you and tries to talk to you on a semi-daily basis about anything musical under the sun in this little studio shack, by comparison of my little corner here that I try to talk to you about so many things that I love, and this is just one of them. And the music itself seems so interesting. The first single from it is hitting the web on Thursday, or so I've heard. I read into it last night. The whole presentation of the record is really interesting because you can, of course, get it on vinyl and CD, and you can get it with a puzzle or a wall flag or all of these little odds and ends, and There's a great thing with the vinyl, which of course the vinyl had to be brought into it, where the vinyl has 9 different covers. The main cover, which is a collage of all of the different cities that they performed or that they recorded in, and includes little landmarks and things identifying about those. Or you can get covers from each individual place. And while it would be cool to get a collage of that, it seems really interesting to get a different one that's really only going to be available through the Foo Fighters website, and kind of have something unique to itself in that sense, although it would be kind of impossible to collect all of them and just make a collage out of the vinyl, but that's a cool idea. And there's just so many things about this. I apologize if this video is just one big mess of me talking so fast and just so furiously about everything to do with this, because while I'm not a big diehard Foo Fighters fan, you know, I'm more casual with them, I love this concept. I love everything about this. I love that he did the documentary thing with Sound City. I love that they're incorporating it into this whole recording experience, these 8 different places that they visited, with Austin and Seattle and New York and New Orleans and Nashville and all, you know, on and on, just, and how it relates with music as this cultural experience. And music is so amazing and big in culture, and so big in my life, and the cultural experience of that and what it teaches you and what you get to learn as a result of this beautiful entity, and that changes and morphs and combines and forms new and better and different and crazier and more radical things the more that time moves on and the more it mixes together, and the stuff that comes out that you would never expect that is now breathed into life. And it's just so cool that they're doing something like that to really chronicle it. It's a shame it's on HBO, but I'm hoping that, you know, thanks to the power of the internet, it will be out there somewhere to watch each part of it and just go nuts over it. And maybe with any luck, not making promises of course, but maybe we'll talk about some of those episodes on here and fill out a little bit of that TV book quotient, other little playlist thing that I have on my channel here that really doesn't get used very often, but leaves it open to the possibility. So if you couldn't make any sense out of anything I just said in that video, if it all just came out as me just like that for a while, no worries. I'll bring it down to a science for you. The Foo Fighters, new album, Sonic Highways. It is due out November the 10th. You can go and see the Letterman performance online. I'm sure music blogs have it by now, as well as, I think I even reblogged it on the Facebook page, part of this little endeavor of mine. You can go, you know, keep watching them all week on Letterman as they do. They're not going to do new songs from the record. They're doing songs that were inspired, kind of inspired the songs on the record. They're doing cover versions of that, and with special guests, so who knows who's going to show up all throughout the rest of the week. It's a great start with last night's thing, and which is why I wanted to talk about it right now. It's got this great 8-part mini-series documentary thing coming up in chronicling every city and all the people that they meet to get to play on the record and do all this stuff with, and studio time and things in the studios and stuff. Great little thing going on with that, and interviews. Just blows my mind with all that stuff. Music is a cultural thing. Could go on all day about it. And that is pretty much just what you should know about it, whether or not that it could be this big, huge buildup of a thing for a record that's just like, or just decent, but all the same, I think it's really cool, and you can go and get one of 9 different record covers for the vinyl and the pre-order packages and all that stuff, which is really cool, but I've never seen where you could get different covers, 9 different album covers for a record, so you can do that as well. But you should just go and check this out for yourself. I can only explain so much in this little video here, as quick or as not quick as that may be, but I hope that it has sparked your interest as it has sparked mine. Not so much as a Foo Fighters fan, but perhaps it's just kind of liking what Dave Grohl does, kind of liking Dave Grohl as a guy in general, wherever he's showing up, whether, again, the Sound City thing, whether it was the Bob Mould documentary thing when he came into that and played some songs with Bob, and just anything to do with that. And you should just go and check it out and get as excited as I am excited about this particular project. And I would definitely like to keep talking about Sonic Highways a lot more as it gets closer to the release date, as well as just a bunch of other stuff that just came out of the woodwork today. I am very much overstimulated. That is definitely the proper word for it. I'm way overstimulated with all this stuff today, but that is top of the heap right now, top of the list. As just a music fan in general, all this, you should check it out. It's so cool. The Foo Fighters Already forgot that. The Foo Fighters Sonic Highways, November 10th. Really cool thing. That is my little in preview, what's on my radar screen right now thing, guys. Come back here, check stuff out for a lot more still to come. We just did a great little review for Weezer that I finally got out there. It's a few other little videos up. More to come. Just great stuff, guys. So stay tuned.